Howdy, I'm here to teach you guys how to factor using the X method. Just know that when you're factoring trinomials like this, your answer needs to be two parentheses. Those parentheses both need to start with this first number that you're given, this 4x. Notice I'm only going to write a 4x, not an x squared, because when you multiply x times x, you should get the x squared back. All right, so let's proceed. So when you're given this equation here, this first term is your a, the one in front of your x squared. The second one is your b, and this last one that doesn't have any x's is your c. So you're going to take the first number and the last number, the 4 and the -6, and you're going to multiply them together. This should give you -24. That middle number, that -5, is going to go on the bottom. So that means that when you are trying to find out what goes in the backside of the parentheses, you need to have something that multiplies to -24 but adds to 5 or subtracts to 5. So let me tell you the factors of 24. What multiplies to 24? 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, and 4 times 6. Out of those, I need to pick the ones that would give me -5 in the middle. So out of those, only 3 and 8 would give me -5. Because when you subtract them, you should get 5. All right, because I'm subtracting them, they need to have opposite signs. So one needs to be positive, one needs to be negative. Because it needs to be a -5, that means that it needs to be a -8 so that it can be more negative, and a +3. All right, so those numbers you're going to write at the end of those parentheses. And I'm going to ask you here, can you divide anything out of each of those parentheses? One of them is already done. This one, you cannot divide it out anymore. But these two, I can divide both of those by 4. You got to divide by the biggest number you can. Because if you divide it by 2, you can divide it again by 2. Got to pick the biggest number. So your final answer should be that 4x plus 3. And when you divide 4 by 4, I should get 1x. When you divide 8 by 4, I would get 2. So this would be your final answer. But make sure that you check your answer at the end. All right? So the way that you can check is if you multiply your first two numbers, 4x times 1x, you should get 4x squared back. And I do, so that's good. And when you multiply your last two numbers, 3 and the -2, I should get -6 back. And I also do. So that means that that answer is correct. This is your final answer.